One of the Democrats who crumbled like a granola bar in your backpack is New Hampshire Senator and the Joker's proud aunt, Jeanne Shaheen.
Democrats drew a line in the sand. They said, we are not going over this. And today, after 41 days, they pulled out a shovel and a bucket, and they ate all that sand and got nothing for it. Isn't that great?
Wow, something amazing happened. By the way, Stephen Colbert is more conservative than you knew, according to him. Now, Chuck Schumer just put the country through the longest shutdown in American history, got zero in return. Instead, the radicals in his base are more emboldened than ever. The de facto leader of the Democratic Party is, in fact, socialist Bernie Sanders, who has been openly trashing Schumer in interview after interview after interview for days on end now. Take a look.
Do you, at this point, have confidence in Chuck Schumer to lead the Democratic caucus?
It's not Schumer. Look, it goes deeper than Schumer. It is no secret to anybody who follows these things that there is a division within the Democratic Party. Chuck represents the establishment wing, the corporate wing.
Do you still have confidence in him as leader of the Senate?
Look, Schumer and I have very fundamental disagreements about where the Democratic Party should be. And I am strongly supporting candidates for the Senate who are not part of the Democratic establishment or believe. I think the leadership, this is no great secret. It is my view that the leadership of the Democratic Party in many respects is way out of touch with where Democrats in general are, where many independents are, where the grassroots of America are. So you can argue, and I can make the case that Chuck Schumer has done a lot of bad things. But I think getting rid of him, who's going to replace him?
Now, here's Bernie saying the quiet part out loud, that there is a movement underway all across the entire country where candidates just like Zoran, our friend, commie Marxist Mamdani, are now poised to take the reins all around the country. Take a look.
What we have got to do is go above and beyond what happened yesterday, that terrible, terrible vote, and understand that, yes, you have parts of the Democratic establishment who are way, way out of touch with where the American people are or where we have got to go. And our job is to build a political movement. We are doing it with the 3 candidates for the Senate. I expect more to come with many candidates in the House, candidates all over this country running for local office. We're going to build that movement, grassroots movement, to do what Mamdani did in New York City, all over this country.
All over this country. Bernie's right, but don't take his word for it. Here's the latest polling data, even from fake news CNN. They finally get it right.
What about Democrats nationwide feeling about Chuck Schumer? I think the word of the day is terrible, 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 terrible. To quote another Charles Barkley when it comes to Chuck Schumer, look at this. Least popular Dem Senate leader ever. I looked at all of the polls going all the way back since 1985. The one who has the lowest rating among Democrats is, in fact, Chuck Schumer. Look at this. He's underwater with Democrats. His own party, he's underwater. He's at -4 points. That makes him the least popular guy for a Dem Senate leader going all the way back since the mid-1980s at least.
All right, it's obvious to anybody with eyes to see. It's only a matter of time before Chuck is forced to walk the plank. In fact, no Democrat, no matter how liberal, is going to be safe. The leader of the idiotic No Kings protest is now vowing to lead a campaign against any Democrat who rebuffed the demands of his party's radical base. Look at this warning. Take note.
They have shown us time and time again this year that given the chance, they will cower. Given the chance, they will capitulate. If they can find plausible deniability, they will give in the regime. If there's a silver lining to all this, it's that this capitulation was so complete that it will be impossible to hide. Everybody can see that the party is not up to the task now. And so we should be asking every single Senate Democratic candidate, are you supporting Chuck Schumer for leadership? And if you are, you don't got my vote. You don't get my donation. You don't get my support. You don't get my attention.
Now, this type of coercion is now everywhere on the left. Just look at how John Fetterman, he went on The View. Look at how he was treated for simply, wanting to open the government, for wanting 42 million Americans that need food stamps to get them, for wanting hundreds of thousands of Americans to be able to travel in a safe and timely fashion. And, by the way, pay our brave men and women in uniform. Make sure they get a paycheck. Take a look.
Why give in now? Why bring a butter knife to a gunfight? Are you willing to gamble that the GOP will negotiate on health care in good faith once the government reopens? Because if that gamble is wrong, 500,000 Pennsylvanians that you represent, their health care costs will skyrocket if you are wrong. And I believe you are wrong.
By the way, what she's saying is wrong. We'll get to that later. This is now the party of out-of-control rage. I mean, they are literally at each other's throats. It lacks all sense of decency, all common sense. The hammer and sickle party, to each according to their needs, from each according to their ability. There's absolutely no room for compromise. As AOC, just plain out said, the old guard in the Democratic Party is about to go extinct. Pay attention to this.
Well, what I think is so impressive about what Zohran Mamdani accomplished tonight, as well as the entire movement of New Yorkers that came out to vote for him, is that he had to not just defeat a Republican, he had to defeat a Republican and the old guard of the Democratic Party at the same time. He was fighting a war on two fronts and not just one. And he still won resoundingly. And I think the message that that sends is that the Democratic Party cannot last much longer by denying the future.
This is really a historic moment. There are now two groups of Democrats. The first, a cabal of radical socialists who are willing to fight tooth and nail to destroy everything that makes America great, replace it with Zohran Mamdani, Soviet-style Marxism. The second group consists of cowardly liberal Democrats, more traditional maybe, that are just bending the knee, scared to death to ever challenge these radicals and put up a fight. They are now being bullied into oblivion. They will be extinct in no time by members of their own party. Ultimately, this will have very serious consequences, not just for the Democratic Party, but for the entire country. We got a little taste of this during the shutdown, and it got bad. It will get so much worse if these socialists are able to gain a serious foothold in our federal government. Socialism, I wrote a whole chapter in Live Free or Die, and its history of failure. It is a failed system. It is built on envy, rage, and magical thinking and false promises. It always ends the same way. Unfulfilled promises by government officials that want power, more poverty, and a loss of your freedom. How, by the way, is your government schools doing where you live? What town do you live in? What city do you live in? How did those Obamacare promises work out for the American people? Where's all that money that they were supposed to put away, your money, in a Social Security lockbox? Remember they promised that? At some point, simple, basic, fundamental common sense has got to prevail, or America will be doomed if we become New York and New Jersey and California and Illinois. But as President Trump has demonstrated, this is a golden opportunity for Republicans to offer real solutions, to make the American dream more affordable. It must be done. Without skin in the game, without investments or equity in a nice home, socialism becomes a temptation. But with aggressive regulatory reform, et cetera, lower interest rates, abundance of production and energy, which is the lifeblood of the world's economy, and, of course, building materials and food and everything else under the sun, the golden age of America will be better than ever before. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.